Commit to the Lord, whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. Good day, everyone. It's good to be back. Saturday morning, we are on our episode number 2. Before we're gonna get started, I would like you to take a moment to take a look at this beautiful BMW German sedan. Whatever Germans do, they just do it with such a quality that you can appreciate for the rest of your life. I'm only being 50% sarcastic. My name is Edward and I specialize in architecture. Now we're gonna do some exterior work and interior work in this fixer-upper. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of these ugly Moldings. While these do provide shade and protect us from rain, however, they are about 40 years out of style. Behind the camera is Daniel. He's one of the best helpers that I've ever worked with. He has submitted his time and effort to help me in the progress of fixing this house, which I'm really thankful for. I cannot thank him enough. When you're doing any kind of work on your house or apartment, there's gonna come a time when you will be exhausted and you'll need some help. Now, some of you already know that I have my architectural degree, and what I like to do is first sketch the house on the piece of paper a few times before I actually like my idea. And what I do then is I take it into a 3D application. In this case, I'm using SketchUp Make. It's a straightforward application that anybody could learn. When you hire my team, however, you wouldn't have to learn and you wouldn't have to waste the time and go through the hoops that I went through, and I will design the house to the actual dimensions. Now, since I'm the architect and the client of this project, I'm probably gonna be a very picky client and a very perfectionist kind of client. So it's going to be really difficult to work with myself, as I want to make things look absolutely perfect. Now, that's not to say that my clients do not get this kind of service. This is just because me working for me, and that's always difficult. It's a lot easier to make the decision for someone than it is for yourself. Now, I have a lot of helpers and they always help me when it comes to making decisions. You just saw a sketch that I drew by hand. This is just an idea of what can be done to this house. Obviously, the idea is not to spend too much money on this house. However, there are some things we have to do to this house to make it look a lot better than it is right now. In the comments below, let us know what you think about this idea before we're gonna take it into a 3D application for the final rendering that hopefully we can show you in the next video. Since this house didn't have AC unit installed, owners before me probably decided to install these shading devices to help themselves with lowering heating bills. During summer, it becomes uncomfortably hot. Our solution is going to be installing a brand new cooling system. Now, of course, with that comes the cooling cost rise. But again, we don't care because we have a Dollar Tree growing in our backyard. One thing you can do is you can tint all your windows. That will give you a visual illusion. Perhaps it will even help you to keep your cooling costs lower. Going back to the Dollar Tree, of course I'm kidding about that, but what we do have is called passive income stream, which many of you should have too. And this is our Dollar Tree. You sleep at night, it makes you money. Simple as that. Since time is the most valuable thing you have in your life, we're going to do you a favor and save you a lot of time by fast forwarding this screen recording to make 1 hour equal to 1 minute. Ever since I started using SketchUp, probably back in 2003 or 2005. Now, the SketchUp itself was first launched in August 2000. I was very young when I was first introduced to this awesome 3D application by my friend Daniel. Here you can see we took down the awnings and we're now going to take them, put them behind our house, and then later take them to the dump. If you're interested and want them, just contact me and they're yours. The thing to do when you remodel the house is always look for deals. And what I mean by that is, instead of buying brand new tools and brand new this and that, you always want to look for deals, because the total cost of fixing your house can end up being so much more. Don't get me wrong, we're not trying to be cheapskates. We are just trying to save the overall cost, because the extra money that was spent on this house could go to our next project and next and next and next. By the way, I hope that these videos will show you my approach of fixing a house from start to finish. I hope that with the help of God, you will be able to accomplish your dreams too. You'll be able to fix a house within a very short time. And of course, a very low budget. You're now watching me work on this site plan. What I had to do is I had to take my measurement tape and actually go out and measure the whole site. While I do have most of the dimensions from the city or the county website, I don't always like to rely on those because they're not always accurate. When I went out and measured the site, the numbers were a little different than the county's website was suggesting. This is one of the reasons why you want to use our services, because we actually take our time to go to the site, measure the whole thing, make sure all the numbers are good so that we can provide the best service possible. If you're going to spend any kind of money on hiring somebody to run around with measurement tape to measure your house, you want to make sure they know how to hold it and possibly even use it properly. Sometimes social media helps us to make ourselves look like something we're much bigger than we really are. Especially if you can afford some marketing, you can really make yourself look like you're one of those top-notch dogs, but in reality a lot of times you just pay for a service, and let me tell you, you will not be satisfied. Now we are trying to avoid that by literally giving you more for the buck than you can get with other companies. Our goal is not to just finish a task, our goal is to completely amaze you. While we did have some rough projects in the past due to a very low budget and a lot of misunderstandings, we're actually trying to get rid of some bad clients and just focus on the good ones, because the good ones are the ones that want to appreciate the effort you're putting into their project. When anyone does any kind of work for you, you want to reward them for their time and effort according to the service they provided to you. And we're now in the smallest bedroom. What we have to do in this bedroom is we have to demo this old closet. Now this is an add-on type of a closet, so it should be easy to demo it. Daniel was cool enough to bring his sledgehammer. We're gonna use this bad boy to crash this old nasty closet. And since we are gonna be restoring this hardwood floor, we're gonna have to remove all the moldings. Obviously, if we remove the bottom ones, we're gonna have to remove all the window and doors trims too. Therefore, we'll obviously need to replace all of them. By the way, huge shout out to Gary Vaynerchuk. While I have never met him in person yet, he was the guy that taught me how to Russian it. He's a white Russian entrepreneur, author, speaker, and internet person. He became super rich and very well known around youth. There's just one thing that I really don't like the way he teaches, is that he's using really strong language, especially when he's around youth. I don't think that's a good example, but he gets the job done and delivers a strong message. I read his book, crushing it, like 7 times, and I'm planning on to reading it 3 more times. 10 minimum is what I suggest y'all do. If not every book motivates you, this one should. We're almost done demolishing the whole bedroom. We'll just jump back into the SketchUp real quick and now proceed with the kitchen design. Now this kitchen is going to be really tricky because the space is not that big, so we have to play within the space that we have. And we have a lot of obstacles, such as those windows. They are awkward size, they're not on center. We're gonna have to give a lot of thought about those. Now, kitchen can be quite complex depending on the client needs or wants. We want to go from traditional kitchen where one person prepared meals to a multi-purpose cook room. This evolution has changed us from looking at one work triangle to multiple triangles. With that in mind, we have to increase clearance and look at adding comfortable spaces in the kitchen. One of the things that I, as a client, want is an island. However, the architect I hired for this project suggests that we do a U-shape kitchen without an island. Now I'm paying this architect over $75 an hour, and he better listen to my suggestions, since I always wanted an island in my kitchen. It seems like the obvious missing piece. Modern houses have them, so should I. Before we jump into designing the island, we want to do the U-shape first and then compare those two. We might actually do 3 different options and show them to you so that you can be the one to make our final decision. I got a little carried away with crashing this old furniture. It was a lot of fun. I'm sure you all know that crashing is a lot easier and way more fun than to build something or to assemble something, because it takes a lot of time, versus crashing just takes a couple good smacks. Well, of course, we could have taken our time to properly disassemble this unit. We chose not to because we don't really know what could have been done with this old piece of furniture, so we just decided to crush it. Some of you keyboard warriors will say, you could have saved the wood and you could have sent it to Africa and they could have built a hospital out of it. Nah, they're not gonna do it. Trust me, they have more wood and more natural resources than some of us do. When it comes to water, however, that's a different story. We'll cover that subject in one of my future videos. I know that this video is a little random. I don't really go in order when I do things. That's just kind of what happens when you start to do any kind of remodel, is you kind of jump from thing to thing, because you're trying to accomplish one task, but one task requires you to do another task, and that other task requires you to do something else. You just get distracted very easy, and this is why this video is just all over the place. Is because we have all these little clips that we gotta put together and try to explain to you what we're doing in the process. While at first the process of remodeling can seem a bit intimidating, it's not bad. You get into it, you get your hammer, put on your tool belt, and you're good to go. Before you know it, 8 hours later, you've done so much work. Just gotta start. Here you can see that we took down the old closet. Most of the moldings are gone by now. I'm now removing the window moldings because we're not going to be using the same old style. We're going to be going with the more modern look. So they're all going to need to be replaced. The one thing that I really love about modeling something in a 3D application is that you actually get to see the whole thing done before it's actually done in person. Now, of course, you don't have to go as deep as I'm going with this one, but it certainly helps you visualize your project before you start demoing or before you start doing anything to your house. It doesn't cost you a whole lot of money to model something in a 3D application. Now, to render an image is a totally different thing. You don't have to do that. Not everyone can visualize something in 3D perspective. While I, with a lot of experience in my trained eye, can certainly do that, I still choose to go into 3D application. This is where all the ideas just sort of flow in your brain. I always do my work in a 3D application just because it's so convenient for me and the client. If you are my client, what I like to do is have you sit next to us with a cup of coffee or your favorite tea and watch us design your house right in front of you. In fact, we can even go as far as put on VR goggles and you can actually sit or walk in the house and watch us build it. Now, the technology will soon allow us to actually both be in VR and build the house with our own hands. That is the dream. For those of you that don't know what VR is, VR stands for virtual reality. Essentially, it's just glasses that you put on your face, and they have a monitor, high resolution monitors inside of them, and you actually look through the monitor and the monitor displays what is going on in the virtual life. I absolutely love technology because technology allows us to do stuff that we were never able to do before. Now back to the kitchen talk. If you want to have a really good kitchen design, in this case it's a redesign, here are some things you want to consider. Number one, be willing to move doors and windows. I can't stress enough how important this step is. Number two, request wall cabinets that extend to the ceiling. Number three, make use of that corner cabinet. You don't want to just absolutely lose that space. Number 4, trade doors for drawers in the base cabinets. Number 5, optimize for pull-out trash bins. Number 6, dedicate a wall for floor-to-ceiling storage. And finally, number 7, choose a pull-out pantry. Now, of course, these are not requirements, they're just our suggestions. Of course, there are 100 bazillion ways of going about the actual design of the kitchen and the layout. What you might want to do is invite your spouse or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and have them cook or pretend like they're cooking right in front of you and watch what they would be doing. That will certainly help you in the design process. You'll know exactly where to put your kitchen sink, dishwasher, and all the other necessary kitchen related equipments. Choosing colors for your kitchen is a totally separate subject. We're going to be able to cover the subject in our next video, hopefully, if kitchen is what we're going to be working on. I want to take a moment and thank Dan for helping me out with this project. While Dan is a true entrepreneur and he's always looking for ways to make money and make his own clients really happy, he always finds time for me to help me with my projects, which I really appreciate, and this is the reason why I'm taking this moment to thank him for that. He's a little camera shy, but I was still able to convince him to go over the things that we've done today in this very awesome house. Of course, I'm also very thankful for my parents' help. I never dare to ask them for help, but they just come. For that, I'm thankful and more thankful. Remember to always reward people that help you with anything in this life. Without a further ado, here's a quick blurry render to give you an idea of one of the options that we can go with for our kitchen. Now, let's see what Daniel is up to.
Empty. First day on the job. Demolition. We destroyed these cabinets over here, all the walls. We're planning to get rid of these later because we're going to use them for like a platform. Got rid of these trims. And what our future plan with this kitchen is going to be, move this window over to the left a little bit. We took off these trims down there. We're going to redo the trims completely. Door right here is going to be moved to the left. This wall is going to be gone. Okay, you follow me? This carpet, we removed it today. I'm planning to get rid of this too. Trims are going to be gone. this wall, the new flat earth standard, it's going to be gone also. We're going to have an open kitchen. Okay. This room, we used to have a big wall cabinet here. Demoed that whole thing, got rid of those trims, carpet, all that nasty. Got rid of the wall trims. And then here, got rid of this frame. What our plan is to do is cover this up and demo that wall, or at least half of it, and then put barn doors in front of it so that there's going to be like a laundry room. Actually, if you want to follow me outside, I'll show you the garbage that we had in just one day. So, here we go. Just one day. So, if you guys have any comments or suggestions of what to do with this house, just leave like a comment. Gladly to hear your opinion.